1989 Grand Marquis, smoke gray. One of my cars that I had back in the day. It was one of those ones. I got a few stories about this Grand Marquis, right? Very graphic, very detailed, some very interesting stories. The stories that I'm about to tell you about this Grand Marquis is never to brag, never to glorify the lifestyle that I lived. The purpose of this episode or this story that I'm about to tell through these different events is to heal. It's to release a lot of pain, a lot of mischanneled anger, a lot of details about my walk through this journey called life. We're gonna get right into it. Before we really get deep into these tales of this Grand Marquis, smoke gray, the bandit, I called it the bandit. The reason why I called it the bandit, because when people seen that car, they knew it was gunplay. See, one of the reasons, let's go back and start long before I got the Grand Marquis. For those who knew me growing up, hustling the streets, they could testify to a lot of this story. If you grew up around me, you know what these stories mean and the truth behind them. One of the reasons why I had so many cars at a young age, right, is because I was so hot in the streets. It's where I had to keep buying cars so people wouldn't know which cars I was in, you know. But as my experience of buying different cars, I could only ride them for maybe a good, not even a month, good month or two. They blazing hot because I was in the spotlight of this lifestyle. Growing up, it wasn't easy for me growing up. It wasn't easy for me to survive or deal with my environment. It was like, it's a jungle, is what you call it. So that's kind of like the backstory of how I come about getting this Grand Marquis. And the reason why I bought this Grand Marquis, I think I paid at the time, now mind you, this like 2000, no, it's not two, it's like 1996. 1996 is when I bought it. I always believed in buying cars cash. I never believed in having a note. And one of the reasons why I always felt as though I needed to buy it cash was because if I ever got locked up, you know, it was, now mind you, I have bought a car from my experience of buying cars, like buying it off the lot, putting down on the car. My experience was I got locked up and I had a car note, and I said I would never do that again. So once I began later on in my experience of life, when I bought a car, I believed in buying it car cash because I felt as though I own that. That's mine. Can't nobody take it from me. So, like I was saying, the more I hustled in the streets, I was very hot. It was a lot of tension. And mind you, around this time, me copping this Grand Marquis, it was a lot of war going on, a lot of gunplay, a lot of tension. It was a lot of tension in the air. And I was right in the midst of it. So I think I'm gonna break down maybe 3 stories of this Grand Marquis, right? The first story I want to break down for is this war, this water I was in with this Grand Marquis, you know. Because like I said, I bought the car for low key, and also I bought it to, you know, like do dirt. That was one of the main reasons why I copped this car, because at the back then, Grand Marquises, they wasn't just really, it was more like a Lincoln back in that era, Lincoln, or it had its own styles, but it was like, it wasn't like a box Chevy or a Malibu or things that are street cars. So when you seen this, and I never put rims on it, I never fixed it up, it was just smoke gray, you know. So it was like it can blend in. If I went way out somewhere, that was another reason why I bought it, because when I wanted to like get away and go way out somewhere, it can blend into any neighborhood, any traffic. It was like a camouflage. That's what it was. It was a camouflage. The Grand Marquis. Never forget it. So I want to break down this story that I was thinking about, and like I said, for those who don't know, at a young age I got shot in my head, you know. So a lot of my stories that happen, they comes to me, you know. They comes to me when I either see something or hear a certain song or whatever. But this particular story plays a big part in this Grand Marquis, right? Those who know the Southbrook and the differences, right? Now mind you, I'm hustling in the Wind Branch. That was my main source of why, that was like a headquarters where I hustled at, where we stationed at. But the differences in the Southbrook was like on the other side, where there was a lot of tension, you know. But I had money spots over there in those areas, and also I had people who ran with me in the Wind Branch. They lived in that area, so I stayed coming through, either getting money or going, going and getting different, just making moves in the streets. So now mind you, this is around the time the war first kicked off, and in this moment, it's, like I said, it's a lot of tension, and at this time, right, for those who keeping up with my story and for those who know my story, let me put this out here as well. You see, when the tension started, and even through the whole war, right, the Wind Branch was that area where them niggas didn't want to come. So I'm just keeping. I want y'all to keep this in mind. And for those who grew up with me and those who was in that era, who witnessed what we was going through at the time, they know when we was going to war, drive-by shootings and a lot of gunplay, they weren't coming to this Wind Branch. See, they feared the Wind Branch. They feared but we went over there. We went over there, like, I'm gonna say about good 3-4 times. And it was a lot of times I went unannounced. A lot of times I went on feet. A lot of times I went in times in rage. Keep up with the story now. So this particular day, right, it was like morning time. I'm coming out the Southbrook, right? Now, mind you, this is the very beginning of the war. I'm coming out the Wind Branch, and I think at this time, right, let me kind of keep this clear. At the time, reason why I was telling you about they wouldn't come to the Wind Branch. So what they would do, they would wait late nights, 2-3 in the morning, ride by my mother's house, shoot at my mother's house. Yes, they did. Cowards. And see, For those who grew up around me, the people that knew me, see, they wonder why I take W.B.C so serious. They wonder why this life that I lived, this journey that I came on through this lifestyle growing up, I need to tell this story so the people who don't know can understand. For the people who want to know can understand my journey. The reason why I moved the way I move today. You see, they would go past my mother's house late night, sneak up in the yard. I'm not there, I don't live there. Come to the wind branch. That's what I always used to say. Come at me, they won't come at me. So this particular day, I'm coming out to Southbrook on, it's in between, it wasn't on Winchester. It was like the little side street between the differences in the Southbrook. I'm coming out the cut, Grand Marquis. So I see one of the niggas on the other side. Keep up with me. I see one of the niggas on the other side. He walking. So for some reason, now mind you, I got my windows up. I think I was smoking on a blunt. I'm high. Music bumping. I'm coming out to Southbrook and I see him like talking and like, so I look at him. Now mind you, it's tension. With me, shoot on sight. That was my mentality at that moment. And for those, I want to break it down from what type of person I was back then. See, I didn't get mad or upset. I went from upset to straight rage. So when I seen this nigga, right? Now mind you, I think at the time, it was the first time they ever shot at my mother's house. And it only like, it had a bullet hole by the garage, right? So it was the principle. See, the niggas that grew up around me, see, I stand on this principle. My mother, my brother. The principle. You see, a lot of niggas that was around me, they didn't get shot at. They mother home didn't get shot at. See, this is the principle. This is why I stand on this principle. This day, this nigga throwing up signs or something. So I'm riding off, and some said, just keep going. But I cut the principle. See, I stand on that principle. I can't keep riding. U-turn. By this time, he like walking through, because see, when I'm coming out to Southbrook, he like coming through from the other side into the Southbrook. So he like walking into the Southbrook. So by the time I make a U-turn, he like walking, and in pure rage, all I can remember is coming back through the Southbrook, hitting the street, coming around, I'm gonna catch you at the top. So by the time he come to the top, right? Now mind you, niggas that I ran with in the wind branch, they had an apartment over there. So for some reason, this nigga was walking the same route towards, because I think he was trying to get on down, because you go through the Southbrook to get to the other side. I mean, to on down to Winchester and Airways. So he walking. So all I remember jumping out, and I had like a what you call it, a sawed-off pump in the house. Where the dudes I ran with, I had a sawed-off pump there. So when I jumped out the car, I don't know, he like in the same area. So I'm like, what's up? Like, for some reason we get to arguing. So I'm like, well, what is that you saying? You know what I'm saying? What is you saying? So for some reason I remember going in the house. No, what happened? I think I get to tussling with him. And I threw him on the ground, and he had like a 22, a raggedy 22, had tape on it, it was just a raggedy little 22. I took the gun, and I just remember going in the house, trying to grab the gun, and the people that I fucked with at the time, they hollering and screaming like, nah, leave it alone, leave it alone. And the nigga went on about his way, right? So remember the principle. See, they wonder why I take it serious. See, at the time back then, that whole area was one affiliated. Wasn't no other gangs. Just that whole area full of 100 of them niggas, thousands of them niggas. Every sectional apartment, right? Now keep in mind the principle. So, like I said, he had like an old rusty 22, and like I said, he didn't use it. Cause when I jumped out the car, see, if it was me, you run up on me, I'm gonna up it, or we gonna fight. So, like I said, I don't think I took it. I think it fell. I want to make this clear. I ain't take it when it fell out. Cause when we was tussling, it fell out. So when it fell out, it's like I took it. Then that's when I took it. Cause he didn't up it. A lot of them niggas went up it on me. So in saying that day went by. So that like turned the heat up on the streets. Cause now mind you, I want to go, we gonna go back, but leave that right there, right? Now mind you, he got brothers. I want y'all to keep this in mind, right? The Grand Marquis story. Keep that Southbrook story in mind. The Grand Marquis story. Think maybe a week or two later, you know, because like I told you, they wouldn't come to the Wind Branch. But so now I'm getting phone calls, beep, back then it was beepers. My mother beeping me, telling me to come to the house. So I'm coming to the house, and she telling me that the detectives and police is coming to the house looking for guns, saying you got guns and you shooting in the apartments. The people calling and complaining. These niggas was calling the police on me, right? So they police coming in my house, searching the house, looking for, the only thing they could really find was bullets though. Now mind you, the principle, my mother going through it with this, the principle. So niggas wonder, like when these niggas cool with these niggas, they help these niggas. The principle. I want you to hear the principle, nigga. Understand when I'm talking to you, this is to get you to understand what happened. The W.B.C. story. Weeks later, the tension on the streets is hot. Niggas hustling, still getting money, but it's hot. See me, see you, we shoot on sight. That was my mentality. Because at this point, they crossed the line. See, if they was shooting at me, I could take it a different way. But them niggas was going to my mother house. Bitch niggas. The principal. Remember the principal. The Grand Marquis story. Couple of weeks later, I see the nigga brother riding on our side through the Mill branch, not the Wind branch, the Mill branch. See, the Mill, for those who don't know, the Wind branch and the Mill branch is on our side. The other side, it was their side. But these niggas, I seen them on this side. So, mind you, I don't know why he over there. I don't know what's going on with him. See, in this era of my life, get money, shootouts, the streets hot, my mind went blank. Can't think straight. A lot of rage, anger. Get you before you get me. That was the mentality. The Grand Marquis story, the principal. Couple of days, like I said, a few weeks later, maybe a week or two later, I see this nigga turning into they turning in the Mill branch, and I'm coming out the Mill branch. Now, mind you, I don't know why he over there, but my mind told me, this nigga coming over here looking for me. Pulled out the gun and unloaded. He swerved, went up on the curb. I pulled off. Went into the Wind branch. Lost. See, this area of my life, I'm lost. Caught up. See, in these moments of time, it wasn't nobody with me. Because in the times of my mother house getting shot up, it was just me and my family. Just me and my family. So, but I was okay with that. I was okay with that. Because see, a lot of people there that was in the Wind branch, they weren't no shooters. It was only a few. Them niggas in that W.B.C picture. It was only a few niggas that was saying, we going over. See, we went over. We didn't go to niggas' mama's houses, shooting at niggas' mama's houses, late night. See, we went over. I want to see you, nigga. That's how I was back then. I want to see you. Come here. I want to see you. That was the story. See, sharing this story, I have to share this story. This story, I held it in for the right time. See, a lot of people don't know the W.B.C story. They know the false stories. They know the glorified stories to fit their lives, to fit their situations, to make it seem like they was spinning with us. Like they stood on principles. Oh, I remember it just like yesterday. See, at the time, me getting hit, me and the homie getting hit, they thought a nigga went crazy. He ain't snapping back out of that, especially when I started smoking, right? Fourth quarter, W.B.C down by 20. When I got hit, It was like the fourth quarter. W.B.C. down by 20. I said, Coach, Allah put me back in the game. I got something to say. So I'm telling you this story, right? By the way, this ain't no script. I didn't rehearse none of this shit, just flow out the way it is. However it come out, this is the way it need to be told. The W.B.C. story, the Grand Marquis, the 89 Grand Marquis, smoke gray. When they seen their car, they knew what time it was. Not bragging or boasting, just a true story of my journey, walking, traveling through life. If you can learn from my story, change your ways, be a better person, I did my job. But the story got to be told. The W.B.C. story. One of the most painful stories that I ever had to tell. Keep in mind, I unloaded, pulled off. All I could see the nigga swerving up on the curb. Go back in the wind branch like nothing happened. Back on the block hustling. You see, at this point in my life, I realized I didn't give a fuck. You niggas shot at my mama's house. Point of no return. My mother begged me. I said, Mama, I can't. These niggas violated you. And that's what time I was on. Back in the wind branch hustling, Grand Marquis, I think I got a call in the wind branch, in the mill branch. Jumped in the car, going over to make a sale. I see the nigga Big Brother. Mind you, it's three of them. See the nigga Big Brother sitting. It wasn't see, he was standing in the mill branch. Now, I want y'all to stay with me, right? I told you, with all what's going on, my mind went blank. Ain't no concentration. Can't think straight. Nigga shot at my mama's house. The principal, nigga. Seen a nigga Big Brother. I pulled in. See, when I seen him, see, there's a backstory. Listen to this story of the nigga Big Brother. So we gonna tell this so you can understand this story. So when I pulled riding down in the mill branch, I see him standing. See, I know why he there. He's there because of what's going on. But see, you gotta understand, keep in mind the principle, nigga. You niggas shot at my mama's house. So in saying that, I pulled in the backstory of me and his big brother. Years ago, Graceland Junior High, right? School was letting out. Now, mind you, I'm walking home from school. It's where I stayed. I lived behind the other side. I lived up on one of them streets in the house, right? So for some reason, I guess because I didn't live in the projects, they thought that I was some type of dude that was, because when you're not living in that and you come from a home, see, they don't know I come from North Memphis, Watkins and Brown. I come from South Memphis, but for some reason they thought we were soft, the ones who lived in the homes, right?